All right. that coochie chakra, coochie chakra, coochie chakra. Oh, girl, let me hit that coochie chakra, coochie chakra.
Yeah. Hello, hello, my niggas. Hello, my niggas. Hello, hello. What's up, my niggas? Hello, my niggas. It's showtime. It's showtime. Yo, yo, what's up? Showtime. It's showtime. Let's go, my niggas. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Where's my super fan? Here he is. Hello, hello. 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 Let's go. Smile, laugh, dance, sing. Come on, my niggas, let's go. Go. Hello, my niggas. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, my niggas. Hello, Anafe. So both of my other channels have been given strikes for hate speech due to live streams. It seems like the creatures on YouTube can't handle the king. They can't take it. They can't take it. They show that they're weak and thin-skinned. They're weak. They can't take it. They can't handle it. So here I am, still live streaming. And I'll just keep going. I'll keep steamrolling them like a tank rolling over them. Fuck them all. They're losers. They're losers. They're weaklings. They're losers. They're little crybabies. And they're obsessed with me. They do live streams about me. Bex Gillard did a long live stream today about me. I'm enjoying an iced coffee right now with triple cream. Man, it's good. It's good to enjoy things. And it's good to be me. I'm so glad I'm not like these creepy creatures. I'm just so glad I'm not like these creeps. These absolute creeps that's just creepy and trashy and they're bizarre. I'm going to drop a link to that video. It's on Odyssey. I posted it on Odyssey. Their tears won't stop what's coming. Not at all. Their tattletaling won't stop it. It won't work. They're losers. They're losers. And they fail at everything. That's what they do. They're good at one thing, and that is failing. They've failed at everything, these creepy creatures. And they will fail again. They will fail again and again and again and again. They can't stop failing. That's all they can do is fail over and over and over again. They've been trying to get rid of me for years on YouTube. And I'm still here. I'm still here haunting them. I love it. I love it. These filthy, vile peasants, they can't defeat the king. I'm the king. And they are filthy little peasants, little losers. They're losers.
The king is here. When I step up in the building, fanfare.
Bring it on,
The
peasants.
king is here.
Piss ants.
Show respect and loyalty, 'cause what you looking at is royalty. The king is here. Where I belong, sing along. You should move along. The king is here. I'm the one holding the crown, going bow when you see me come around. The king is here.
King Steven, welcome back to Z Show.
Hello. Hello, Z. It's good to be back on here. Hello. Hello. And hello, everyone. They can't even imitate me when it comes to that. They can't do anything. Team Evil fails at everything they attempt to do. They're failures. They're losers. They're losers. That's what they are. So let's cover a few things tonight. Jump around a little bit here.
You know, like that's what really like.
This is the same girl that said I killed my mother. The amount of sympathy that I have for this? Zero. You get what you fucking deserve. Ethan W. Huge Ethan W.
me like so freaked out. Is seeing,
That's right.
like- and I know people are gonna be making fun of me for this.
I'm not making fun of you for it. I'm just saying that you deserve it. You deserve it. By the way, if you didn't deserve it, you wouldn't have gotten served.
And I'm just so fucking tired.
Oh.
Tired of constantly being harassed by this shit, you know? Like,
Then you should stop harassing other people.
for the past 3 or 4 months, I've really just been like, I just want to focus on myself and I want to focus on my community. And
You
yeah,
want to focus on yourself and your community, so you actively lead harassment campaigns against multiple people to get them deplatformed, misrepresent them, and call them rapists, but you just want to focus on being positive in your community? No, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. It's so obvious.
I want to be one of those people who's just a breath of fresh air.
Fresh air. Was it 42 times? Something like that?
She smoked more than she spoke.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
I said it's just
Oh.
been such a fucking struggle. I'm just so fucking tired. It's like you don't get a lot of support.
I'm not tired. I just woke up.
You know, Asmongold's community, Tectone's community is now claiming.
That's right. You shouldn't have talked shit about me. What do you think? I'm a target dummy? You think I'm supposed to just take it? And also, I barely even talk about you. The only time I think about you is whenever you're talking about me.
That Tectone is going to sue me for defamation.
Oh. Remember how I said I thought it was going to get worse?
Wait, hang on a minute. What's going on here? You got Casey Tron asleep in the bottom right, okay?
She's reacting, guys. Guys, she's reacting.
Thought.
How much do you want to bet that our viewers probably go down the moment that she wakes up? The amount of sympathy that I have for this? Zero.
And up come the ads because I'm using an account that is not my main account. I'm using a different account. But it's all right. We'll deal with whatever We'll deal with it. I'm going to shift gears to something else here. Give me a second, y'all. Gotta switch accounts on the fly here. I'll pay YouTube for another dozen accounts. I don't give a shit. I'll do what it takes to keep this rolling. Fuck all the peasants out there, the little creeps.
If there's one perennial truth out there, it is a belief in dark spirits. And this belief goes all the way back even to ancient Greece. Had a term called kakodemon or kakodemon, and that is the belief in a dark entity. And I think most people are possessed by demons at this point. And before I start pointing the finger at everybody else, I will take the bar.
Oh, interesting. This guy said 3 weeks ago he thinks most people are possessed by demons. Well, I've been saying that for decades. Where are they getting this from? Where are they getting it from? I'm convinced this realm leeches ideas from me, viewpoints and insights from me. I am a true mad Viking seer, a true artist, a true poet, a true thinker, a true philosopher, a true sorcerer. There's no other like me in this realm. There never will be. There never will be. I'm going to shut this whole place down. All of it. So bring on your attacks, demons. You've attacked me for years and years and years. I will win in the end. I will be victorious. Victorious. Triumphant. And you demons. You're going to be crawling around in this hell realm.
Barb out of my own eye, and I'll go back to my own story from the beginning, because I've had some experiences, shall we say. Even when I was young, I remember very early, we were on a camping trip, and I remember looking at the sky, and I saw 3 stars, and then these stars started to move around and swirl in the sky, and it was terrifying. Then I heard a voice, a very dark, deep laugh, and I ran back to my tent, closed the door on it, and I don't think I slept. That was one of my most early memories, by the way. And then really throughout my childhood, nothing else major happened, nothing that stands out. I was always a bit of a rage case. I was always a bit of a spaz. But I remember maybe when I was 12, I remember I had this teddy bear. Used to call him Barry. And well, by the time I was 12, I definitely had outgrown Barry. And I found him in my closet. I picked him up. For some reason, I started to gaze into my teddy bear's eyes. And then the teddy bear winked at me. I remember my reaction was visceral. I whipped the teddy bear. I didn't take any chances, okay? I whipped that teddy bear across the room, and I started to scream, and I ran downstairs screaming. Because of course, that's what you do. None of the horror movies where they're curious and they want to talk to the entity. No, I was frightened. I booked it. And I told my family what happened. I was like, my teddy bear, it winked at me. We gotta get rid of it. It's upstairs. I don't know what's going on. And they didn't believe me, of course. They didn't believe me. I kind of felt like Cindy from Scary Movie running around. I'm not crazy. I guess that's kind of been my whole life, even though I'm always vindicated in the end. So I got rid of the bastard. I got rid of the little bastard because nobody else would. And they got mad at me for it. Like, you've had that bear since you were a child. How could you get how could you get rid of it? Well, because it winked at me, and that's not normal. Anyway. Yeah, that was a major incident that stands out in terms of, I mean, obviously it was some sort of entity trying to mess with me. Nothing else really stands out until I'm in my teens. I'm getting interested in the occult and studying the lesser keys of Solomon, Enochian magic, chaos magic, reading Crowley, reading LaVey, going on different niche weirdo forums, stuff like that, and experimenting. And it was when I was doing these experiments that I met a girl. Definitely correlated with what was going on. You know, I was tulpa maxing, egregore maxing. Somehow it physically manifested. Well, not somehow. I mean, that's what happens. I know a lot of you are out there are tulpa maxers, and I mean, be careful what you wish for, because your tulpa can walk through your door and things could happen. And so I met a girl, first relationship. She didn't look weak. She wasn't goth. She didn't have a goth aesthetic at all. She was blonde. She was she was chill. First time I went to her house, I went to her room. I noticed there's a bunch of holes in the wall. Okay, fellas, listen up. If you go to a girl's house and there's a bunch of holes in the wall, buckle up, because you're in for a time. By the way, she lived in the middle of nowhere in a cabin. She lived in a cabin in the woods. Okay, that's another sign of the times there. Lived in a cabin in the woods, and her family always had these strange people around. A lot of them turned out to be Wiccans. A lot of them turned out to be warlocks. I mean, one guy later on in life proclaimed himself to be a warlock publicly. So there was that type of stuff going on. And the more I got to know her, the more time we spent together, the more the mask would slip off and I'd see some strange behavior. You know, I'm no stoic, chill guy. You know, I have my rage. I'm a bit of a rage case. Definitely was when I was younger, a lot less now. I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen seizures and just ring wraith screaming and violent tendencies. And she was also a witch too. She proclaimed herself to be a witch a couple times. But she was a white witch, you know. That's what she said. She was a white witch. But the symptoms were disturbing, to say the least. And there were some scary episodes with that girl. She loved horror movies, and she always wanted to watch horror movies, and then she'd always get whipped up in some frenzy by the end of it and get really scared. I remember we watched Insidious. That movie was terrifying when I was younger and it first came out, and I just remember we were just so frightened. And then after that, what was it? Hannibal Lecter movie, Silence of the Lambs. I fell asleep during Silence of the Lambs, and I just remember waking up, looking at her and she was just shocked. She was gone. There was nothing there's nothing there behind the eyes after that. Completely disassociated. I don't know. Maybe there was something that resonated. Yeah, a couple times, just demonic screaming sessions and punching the walls. And when I wanted to break up, it was brutal, just brutal sessions of freaking out. Anyway, I had the bright idea to move in with her. So we move in together, and it only lasted 3 months. This is this ended up to be like a 4-year relationship, by the way. It only lasted 3 months together, living together. And we moved to a city, so we were completely isolated from our families. We didn't know anybody. And that's when the demonic activity really started to increase. And there was the knives were out. The knives were out a couple times, and I feared. I didn't fear for my life because honestly, like, even with the knife, they can't do anything. Like, there was a couple times it was just so easy to disarm the knife wielding. And what's a 5'5" girl with a knife? It's not even like a force multiplier, really. They have to ambush you. But if you're toe to toe with a girl with a knife, I don't know how anybody could be overcome by that. Okay, just do a couple dodges, a couple weaves, grab the knife. One time she bit me really hard. Oh man, I still remember that. It's scary when you look into the eyes of somebody you think you know and love, and that person isn't there on the other side of that gaze. Something else is there. And I don't know what happened to her, what led to that. You would do the dishes, and it would be a demonic freakout. That's the only way I can describe it. I'm going to use demon. I'm going to use the term demon in this rant because it's just the best way I can do it. No, it's a Christian term, but that's the perennial truth of our reality, is that every tradition believes in some sort of dark entity. And so eventually we got kicked out of the apartment because the demonic episodes were just so violent and loud that there was nothing that could be done about it. And I'm no angel, of course. I have my own issues, but I'm never violent and I'm never threatening people. And we'll get to that later. But eventually she starts hanging out with this other girl. I've talked about this a couple times, but she hangs out with this other girl, and this other girl would always show up, and she'd always be wearing cheetah print, and she'd always be listening to really bad MK Ultra rap music. And then I just knew at that point the writing was on the wall, and because I was already aware of MK Ultra, Monarch, Sex Kitten conditioning at that point in my life, because I'm me. I already knew what was going on, what was going to happen, and basically she was possessed by a succubus. She was definitely a succubus, sex kitten entity, and she also started to induce my girlfriend into the MK Ultra Monarch sex kitten beta programming. And they start going to clubs, and then clubs are just demonic factories. That's just where people go to get mass possessed. Especially when you're drunk, you definitely open yourself up a lot more when you're drunk to these types of things. I know I have when I'm drunk. I'm just not myself. say things, I do things that are just not what I would actually do. When you're in it, it's a certain type of drunk too. Like with beer, it's not really like that. I don't even know if it's possible for me to get drunk off of beer anymore. But I think the most demonic liquor is Jägermeister. Because when I drink it, I've only had it a couple times, but just look at Jägermeister. It's black goo. Okay. It looks like a grog from Lord of the Rings. You know, remember that scene where they're giving Mary that drink? Give him some medicine, boys. Right? It's something going on with Jägermeister. And so, yeah, this girl was conditioning her. And, you know, eventually we break up. I tried to here's the thing, too. I saw the writing on the wall. I tried to break up with her, right? I basically broke up with her, but then she just kept showing back up at my house. And I think the only reason she did this was so that she could have the power of breaking up with me. So that's essentially what happened. And then I'm pretty sure she went down a dark path after that for a while. But now she's got a new BF, or she's had a new BF for a while. And he's doing the cleanup crew arc, so you know, good for them. But my brother also, I remember my brother told me, my brother also had a lot of problems with demonic activity. You know, my brother is a Giganord. He basically looks like PewDiePie. So I think they want him more than me because I'm more of a grug. They seem to be more interested in Nordic Aryans. So he had a way more issues with demonic activity than I did. But he told me that I started to take on some of her behavior. Like I never used to punch holes in my wall, and you know, he said like, you know, the freakouts. I started to freak out a lot more too. Like, man, you act like her sometimes now. And I think what goes on there is like people talk about STDs. Okay, yeah, there's STDs, and what they are is sexually transmitted demons. Okay, that's what an STD is, sexually transmitted demon. So if you get involved with a girl who's possessed, you're going to also become possessed residually or actually. And if you don't know what it's like to be possessed, basically, it's like watching yourself in third person. Like I've said things and done things that I'm just like, I look back and I'm like, why? Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Like just absurd vitriol. I don't know. It's not me. You know, instead of taking responsibility for my actions, I'm just going to chalk it up to it being demons. Because I think it was. And yeah, stuff started to happen, especially in my dreams. That's where they tend to get me. Some people experience this stuff IRL. And let me know too, by the way, if you have any encounters, experiences, things like that. They start to get me in my dreams more than I don't think I've ever like seen something other than the teddy bear incident that I could classify as demonic or paranoid and paranormal activity. But they get me in my dreams. And I started to notice that I'd have these nightmares, and then I'd have this weird, sickly sweet taste and smell sensation after these demonic dreams. Like, and that's when I know whenever I can smell and taste that there's something bad around, or something demonic around. It's really hard to describe what I'm talking about in terms of that scent and taste, but it's like a mix of the both of those at the same time. It's a weird, weird sensation, but maybe people out there know what I'm talking about. I'd have this after it was like these weird. Ever played Doom? And that one level with the demonic babies. I had like a dream like that where they were chasing me around in a castle. That was one of my worst dreams, I think, ever. I still remember it. And it didn't seem to ever want to end. Again, I could think about psychedelics as well. I've done a couple of psychedelics. We used to do them on Halloween a lot. And this is when I was before I met this girl, and it's always pretty jolly. It's always pretty happy. Nothing. The only I talked about the only really bad trip I ever really had was that one time I took LSD, and or I did it twice, and it was the second time I did it. And the Marge Simpson incident. It wasn't just Marge Simpson too. Like there was a lot of things being communicated to me from the television. Very specific things that I'm insecure about that they were like mocking me over. And it was bizarre. And definitely some sort of, I think LSD, since it's more synthetic, is more susceptible for demonic infiltration than something like magic mushrooms. I don't think people should do either, but somebody was asking me about them earlier, and what I thought about them with mushrooms. I never had that negative experience. The thing I don't like about mushrooms is the physical sensations. My hands get swollen. I feel like I have Mickey Mouse hands. Like they just feel like they're just too big for my body. And also just the uneasiness in the stomach. And to me, it's more of a goofy, physical and laughing type of high. But I think it's not worth it in the end. Couple dreams recently. I don't know if you ever had a dream where you've been rocked. Like, when you get punched in the face and your bell gets rung. I've had dreams like that where demons just rock me. And you can feel it. I'm just like, I remember I was putting something in my trunk and I just get decked right from behind and it put me on my ass. And I just wake up and then I'm awake. That was my dream. I had another one where I opened the door of my house and I immediately got shot in the face. That was a couple weeks ago. And what else? Yeah, another one where I got punched out. I got thumped by a demon. And you can that's when you know, like when you can feel physical pain in your dream, that's when you know there's something else going on. But we just live. Okay, now that I've examined my own world, and girls, I think a lot of the girls I've been with, there's only one girl I was with who wasn't demonic. She was actually pretty chill. But like girls are obsessed with demonology, horror movies, witchcraft, the dark arts, murder mysteries. There's something about the feminine nature that corresponds with all that stuff. I don't know exactly why. It just seems to be baked into them that way. And so they've all been interested in the occult and witchcraft and I've talked about the witch question a lot on this channel, and that's why. It's because I've seen it so many times. It's just such a pattern. And especially in Canada. You guys think Canadians are nice and jolly and cute and happy? If you meet a Canadian, 95% chance they're possessed by a demon. 95% chance. It's because here, so the boomers here, they love Native American art, they love African art, and they adorn every square inch of their home with this type of art. It's all over the place. They love it. What happens with that is it creates a negative resonance between different blood lineages. And when you put stuff like that with blood frequencies who don't like your blood frequency, it invites negative entities into your home. And so most boomers in North America are possessed by some sort of coyote entity, coyote trickster entity. And their behavior corresponds to that. You can see it a lot. The way they act, they just want to rug pull people and trick people and get one over people all the time. And it's because they're possessed by demons. We live in a demonic world, a demonic society. Kali Yuga. Not only is there open borders in Kali Yuga and mass immigration, the dimensions also have an open border now too. And we're having mass demonic migration. And people are bringing demons here from their homelands as well. You know, you're not just getting the physical entities showing up via stargates here. You're also getting whatever totem, whatever Highland, Papua New Guinea entity, whatever Capoan, Bushman, Capoid is bringing over here as well. All that stuff comes and it's all mingling and it's just becoming like a demonic orgy, a demonic rave. Canada is a demonic rave of a multicultural nature. It's just every type of culture's demons are here, just partying in a giant rave. That's the best way I actually can describe Canada at this moment right now. Maybe that's the best way anyone's described it. And I've just, you meet people and you look into their eyes and you just see it. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but you can just see it and you can just see it in the behavior. Not only that they have to screw people over, but they have to also try to destroy themselves at the same time and try to make everyone else suffer. I think I had one encounter with one who immediately saw what I was, and I kind of immediately saw what they were. And it was at a bar in Ottawa. And I'm ordering a drink, and I look over at this guy. He's just staring at me, smile, like it's a creepy smile. It wasn't a nice smile. It was a threatening smile. You know the movie Smile? It was like that. He's just staring at me, unblinking with that smile. And I just look over at him. I just shrug. I'm just like, I knew what he was. I'm just like, hey, demon. And he's just gazing at me demonically. And that's kind of the thing too, is like, they just kind of want to mess with you. They kind of just want to fuck with you. They don't actually aren't going to do anything. They can't really do much other than just try to bother you. And that's how they get their jollies. Kind of like a schoolyard bully type person who just, they need attention. They feed off attention. And another thing too is they feed off of high stakes emotional conflict. That's really when I noticed, when it's like a feedback loop, or noticed with that girl I was talking about earlier. Like when we get in these high stakes emotional conflicts, that's when things would even get more ramped up and more ramped up. And it's just like an engine that churns and burns this demonic entity. And so I think one of the best ways to combat them is to not get emotional, not get jacked up. Because I'm a very jacked up guy sometimes. I can get very jacked up. And that's how they get me. But I think that one of the best ways to avoid it is just to not get so jacked up that they can mess around with you. And they feed off it. They loosh harvest it. They loosh harvest the jacked energy. So that's one way you can kind of avoid it. You have to remember, like, a lot of the movies, a lot of the media, a lot of the games, a lot of the music that's just constantly blaring 24/7 in this world is made by people who worship demons and think it's funny. And so these entities are being blasted around at us all the time, 24/7. I mean, you see it with people. You know, you got like a blonde girl who's like 5'2", rapping about killing people. Like they like these little blonde chicks are rapping about like slitting people's throats and all this stuff. Like, you think that's normal, or do you think that's engineered? Because that wasn't happening 100 years ago. That wasn't happening 75 years ago. Maybe it was starting to happen 40 years ago, but not on the scale it's happening today. I mean, now it's just all pervasive, you know. Every little blonde chick is rapping about stabbing people in the eyes. Boomers and millennial women, if you want the two, and especially if they're Canadian, but the two people who have the highest per capita incidence of demonic possession are going to be those two groups. Definitely. And, you know, there's signs that people are dabbling with demons. I don't want to be cliche and say, like, just say, like, they're libtards doing it. Because I think it does go deeper than that. But, you know, it is typical, like, the patchwork tattoos, that specific style in general. You know, like, I'm not a fan of tattoos in general, but there's that new patchwork style of tattoo. I don't know if it's new. I'm like a boomer. I'm kind of out of touch when it comes to this stuff. But you know what I'm talking about? People didn't have that when I was a kid, okay, Sonny Jim? So to me, it's new. Girls in general. Like, things have changed so much. I've been watching a lot of 90s and 80s movies lately, just to feel like I'm in some sort of normalcy. Humans are so different now, and the polarity between men and women is so much different now. That's a different topic for another time, though. But of course, the demons are trying to make everybody more androgynous. So you watch movies from the past, and men and women were so much more polarized. Like, a man and a woman were so different in their behaviors, in their speech, in their movement. And now it's become way less polarized, and men and women are not as different as they were in their speech and their behaviors and the way they hold themselves. That's for sure. Demonic engineering. You know, a lot of people say it's electronic warfare, it's brain wave manipulation, sound wave manipulation. I think all those things are very valid. I think that's definitely a big aspect to it. But I think the key component that ties everything in together is the fifth dimension aspect of it all. The demonic aspect of it all. It's part of this as well. And it also gets under-examined, it gets mocked, it gets ridiculed. You're not supposed to talk. This is a, you know, you know, people say you're not supposed to talk about Israel. Yeah, I agree. Like, that's a taboo subject for sure. But I think a lot more people talk about Israel than they even do talk about demons. I think that's the biggest taboo topic. The DQ, the JQ. I mean, that's the lid's blown off that one. The DQ is completely shunned and ridiculed. Yeah, and then you get the MQ, the Masonic question, and I think eventually the higher you go up in that realm, the more metaphysical it becomes. At first, it's more like a country club. It is, like people say it's like a country club. It is for like the low level guys, for sure. But I think the more metaphysical minded people are the ones who are going up higher and higher until they start to get involved with the DQ. And I've noticed that I'm maybe one of the only, or maybe the only pagans who talks about the MQ, the DQ, the witch question. I think it's something that goes under-examined in our worldview. But the Ettins are out there, and they have a big hand to play in how things are going in this realm. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys have any experience? Do you guys have any experiences with the demonic, with possession, with dark forces, dark entities, things like that? My best advice is to keep emotional volatility to lowest levels. That just seems to be what they love the most. And get those Algiz runes out, because that also seems to help. I don't know if anyone else has been cursed. I've been cursed to my face a couple times. Like somebody staring at into my eyes, literally telling me that they are cursing me. And just as an automatic reflection or an automatic energetic move on my part, I like the Algiz rune just immediately washed over me, and I could just visualize it in my mind, and when I was cursed, and it seemed to protect me. But yeah, I don't know, I woke up this morning. I don't know if you can tell, I just woke up, but something came over me, and I was like, I just have to talk about this right now. I have to talk about what's going on with the demon world, the demon society. I mean, it's, people want to talk about perennialism, people want to talk about primordial truth. I think this is the one subject where everyone basically agrees, don't you think? I don't really know anything else that they can't agree on how many gods there are. They can't agree on who's the prophet. They can't agree on if it's monotheism or polytheism, but dark forces seem to be the one thing that everyone seems to be on the same page about. So that to me is not a coincidence at all. Anyway, let me know what you think, and have a good one.
Hello, Salty Siren. That guy was putting me to sleep. I was falling asleep while he was talking. That millennial was putting me to sleep. That millennial. That guy. He's putting me to sleep. Let's go check out something else here. What else is going on?
People think the problem is people think if I get good organic veggies, if I buy the good stuff, then I should be good. If I get the natural organic stuff, then I should have more than enough. And that in theory should be true. You're right, but it's not. The reality is, without supplements today, maybe there's a few regions in the high mountains somewhere where that's true, but for 95.7% of the population, you just don't get the nutrients. I didn't make that up. I'd love for it to be different, but you don't get them, right? Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Inspire Conversation. And I got to tell you, lately, the messages, the text messages, the emails, they've been coming in every single day. People telling us they're fatigued, they're tired. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I oftentimes feel it too. And we've discussed the spiritual reasons for this. Of course, there are some bigger environmental factors, but today I want to go into solution mode. What can we actually do? How can we increase energy levels? What is important? What's the signal? What's the noise? Let's talk about it with founder of Chemical Free Body, our dear friend Tim James. It's good to have you back, brother.
John, thanks for having me, brother. Excited, as always.
Always wonderful. Is this something that you are seeing and hearing a lot lately also? Fatigue, people being tired, not having as much energy?
Well, I was one of those people 15 years ago myself. It's kind of the norm now, having low energy. I mean, if you think about it, why has there been such an explosion over the last 10, 15 years of energy drinks and 10,000 different ways to sell you coffee?
Yeah.
People are freaking tired. People are really tired, and they're looking for something really quick that they can take to give them energy. But most people are falling into the stimulation trap. They're not getting to the root problem, and this is just, it starts compounding and compounding. It gets to the point where people, like some people don't even want to get out of bed. The only reason they do is because they have a mortgage, they have bills to pay, they've got responsibilities, and they force themselves out of bed, pound some coffee that's probably moldy and not healthy. I mean, some people do, but the statistics are most people are eating crappy coffee. And then it's, 5-hour energy drinks and Monster drinks and Red Bulls, and they come home and, and they go in the afternoon, do another coffee deal, and they drink a couple beers and or a glass of wine and pass out and do it all over again.
And you know what's interesting, Tim? It's not just people that are sort of in their later in life. It's young folks. Like I see it in the teens, in the 20s. I mean, they just jug the energy drinks. I'm like, why? Like, how come you're not? You should be in the prime of life.
Well, guess what? These guys will both. This one on the screen, Cowboy, will say there's a good, loving God out there that made this. Why is this place so fucked up? Why is it such a hell realm? And then they'll tell you to go worship and praise God. Praise God for the hell realm. And most people don't see the contradiction there. By most people, he has over 500,000 subscribers, so it's a hell of a lot more people watching his channel than the few people that watch mine. Okay? I'm trying to get through to people. Most people will watch something that completely contradicts, and they'll nod their heads up and down. Yes, it makes sense. This place is fucked up, but it's all just people's fault. It's fucked up in millions of ways that are destructive to you. And people will praise God. That's one of the biggest contradictions that there is. You're worshiping something that you believe created this place to make you suffer. That's the ultimate in stupidity and Stockholm Syndrome. And most people don't even see that much. They just don't. They can't, even when it's pointed out to them. So if you don't think there's something wrong, there's something very wrong, not just with people being tired in this realm, but people worshiping the very monster or monsters that made it this way. Praise your gods. It's incredible, but that's the way it is in this realm.
So this is a systemic problem. It's not individual groups of people. And you're all about systemic solutions. So where can people start if they don't want to do the energy drink, the coffee, and the stimulation trap?
Okay, so check this out. If you want more energy, most people think the first step is what? Putting something in that's going to give them the energy, because it just makes sense. We eat food and then our body breaks it down and then it gets into the cell and then we have this fuel for energy. But the problem is, John, is that we live in a polluted world. And guess what? If you're a goldfish and you're in a polluted fishbowl, what do you think is going to happen inside of your flesh and your cells? The pollution's going to seep. It's going to get in there. It's going to fill up the cells. So, especially people around the world, but Americans, we're full of toxins. We live in a polluted world. There's car exhaust and smog, and in your house you have paint off gassing in your home, particle board, glue holding it together. In the summer it heats up. People didn't, the laminate floors. A study out of MIT showing that it's directly linked to autism in children, off-gassing, these chemicals coming out. They're everywhere. And then the processed foods and your air fresheners and blah, blah. I mean, it's personal care products and shampoos and toothpaste and all this stuff. So if you're buying anything like that, then it's slowly been accumulating from the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food you eat, the clothing you wear, and the personal care products and anything in your environment. Your cells.
Everything's making you toxic, but it's not a hell realm. It's just in your food, your clothing, your housing, everything. It's in the air. It's unavoidable. And then they'll say at the end, well, it's not a hell realm, though. Praise God. Praise God. That's the thing. A lot of you believe that you're truthers and you stop short. And if you stop short, you just go through hell here and then you get recycled. There's no reward for suffering here. None. None. This system recycles you with as much care about your suffering or you getting recycled as tossing an empty soda can into the bin. It doesn't care.
Are full of toxins. So if you just think you're going to just start eating healthier, that's awesome. But the first step is to clean the room, clear those cells out. If your cells are packed full of toxins, there's no room for nutrition. So the first step is always, 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 because we live in a polluted world, just simply detoxification.
So let's talk about that also. What's a good start, but also frequency. A lot of people say, I'll do a detox every spring. I said, that's great, but that might not be enough.
Yeah. Well, and before, we're just going to talk today about physical stuff of the physical body, but never, ever, ever forget, my friends, that the emotional detoxes are probably the most profound. These emotions, when I was talking about things that need to come out, the physical things that need to come out of the cell to make room for the nutrition, there's also physical things that have manifested in our cells from, you might have somebody in your life that's toxic. You get rid of that person and watch your energy surge, right? That is a huge thing, getting toxic people out of your life. If you're going to a job that you disdain, you can't stand being there, it makes you almost ill to think about going to work, but you have to pay the bills, that kind of scenario, then you're going to have to reframe that in your mind to be grateful for that job to provide the income until you can exit stage left. You've got to start getting a plan together. But today we're going to be focusing on just the physicality. So we're talking about the cells. How do you get your cells cleaned up? Well, number one is like 95% of people are not drinking enough water. Your body's mostly made of what? It's water. So drinking more water, and then trying to get water that's not polluted. So purified water, distilled water. And then, we restructure our water. One of the best ways to get structured water is just eating vegetables and having fresh vegetable juice like cucumbers.
They told us the stars were dead rocks. They told us the gods were myths. They told us the skies were empty, but something's returning, and it's not what they said. This is not just another comet. This is not just a piece of ice and dust drifting through space. This is 3i.
I like when people think that she's not AI, that she's real. I mean, look at this thing. They still watch this channel. What's on her head here? Look at this. Anyway, her channel, excuse me, her channel is growing. Her channel's growing and people love it. They love it. people that call themselves truthers love right off the bat. I love all your content right there. They love it. Just dumb as dumb. They can't even tell what this is. So if you ever think that you're in a realm full of smart people that are waking up, this is the average truther on channels like this. They're duped by the most obvious things you could ever imagine.
Atlas, and it's not natural. It's ancient, it's encoded, it's intentional, and it may be the final key. They called it interstellar, but that's just code for off-grid. It didn't come from our solar system, it wasn't created by this sky, and it's not bound by this orbit. It entered from the dark, from a place even the Watchers don't speak of. NASA called it 3I, the third interstellar object, but the name Atlas was not random. In myth, Atlas held up the sky. He carried the heavens, he bore the weight of the firmament. So what does it mean when Atlas returns? This is a cosmic event scripted in code? Every name, every number, every symbol. 3I Atlas isn't just a comet, it's a trigger. And we've seen it before, not in this lifetime maybe, but in the soul record, in the echoes, in the cycles, because this is how they reset the construct. They called it 3I Atlas, but it's not a rock, it's not a comet, and it's not from here. Let's go deeper. In Greek myth, Atlas wasn't just a titan, he was punished to hold up the sky. But what if that story was never punishment? What if it was containment? What if Atlas wasn't holding up the heavens, but holding something back? The ancient texts didn't lie, they were coded warnings. The sky is not empty, it's sealed, and something has been trying to get through. For lifetimes, Watchers guarded the breach. They were stationed at the edge, the so-called outer belt beyond the firmament wall. But now 3I Atlas has broken through. It's the third known interstellar object, and the only one named after a being that held up the veil. Coincidence? Never. This was ritual, this was prophecy, this was planned. It crossed the path of the sun as if rewriting the blueprint. It curved unnaturally, as if guided or pulled, and every telescope that tracked it started glitching. It didn't behave like a comet, it moved like a vessel. A seeded signature, a time capsule, or a trigger. That's what we're decoding next. Something is reactivating. And Atlas isn't just a name, it's a signal to the gods who left. The return sequence has begun. And it's not just about what's arriving, it's about what's already here. They didn't just name it Atlas by chance. This is ritual level naming. This is bloodline level signal. Atlas was punished for a celestial war, condemned to hold the sky. But who really cursed him, and what if he wasn't the villain? What if Atlas was the last of the Titans to stand against the synthetic architects? What if the real story was rewritten? They tell us he was crushed by the heavens, but ancient seals say he chose the burden. He chose to hold the sky so they wouldn't drop it on us. That kind of soul doesn't disappear. Now something's calling itself Atlas again, and it's not from here. They call it a comet, but it's on a perfect arc. It's coded, cloaked, and timed, and it's arriving right after. The fall of the Queen, the fall of the Pope, and the ritual crowning of the Red Child. That's not coincidence, that's countdown. You are watching the return of an ancient flame, a soul encoded in star maps, a presence the parasites tried to trap under their fake sky. And now it's waking, not just in the stars, but in us. They thought they sealed it. They layered it with spells, tech, satellites, and false light barriers. They told you space was dead. They told you nothing comes in. Nothing goes out, but they lied. The gate above the dome was never sealed, only coded. And now something ancient is unlocking it, not by
You have young white people who are getting more and more mad. I'm just telling you the truth.
What they mad?
And they have the guns. They're mad because this thing. Here's why. Here's why. They go, look, I'm 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person than you are a white person. And you go, well, that doesn't count. They go, look, my dad's business got burned down.
Yeah.
My city got burned down. I've been accused of being a racist, even though I'm not. And I'm looking at this right now, and I'm not allowed to have an opinion. And I can't go into certain neighborhoods because I get my ass kicked. And then you just say, yeah, but you've had systemic power. That is a surefire way to breed racism. You have young.
Well, there you go, and absolutely nailed it on the head right there. That's Steven Crowder. His new show, I don't know really what he's doing, but he's kind of back to taking to the streets again. This time he was in a barbershop, a black barbershop, and he went there to talk to them about reparations, black on white crime. Good stuff, folks. I love how they were like, why? Why are they mad at us? We didn't do nothing. They've never done nothing. They've never done nothing. Never done nothing. Actually, somebody sent me a t-shirt that said we didn't do nothing or something. It was really funny. Got a little kick out of that. But it's true. I love the delusion. It's like, are you delusional? Do you not see what's going on? Or are you just lying? Okay, I honestly just think it's delusion, because these are, again, let's remember who we're dealing with. These are the same people that believe that they was Kangs and believe that there was actually a Wakanda that was truly taken away by white people. That's not the case. I'm sorry to break it to you. I'm really sorry to break it to you, but you was never Kangs, okay? And despite the millions of Netflix renditions of medieval times and black Kangs, it didn't happen, okay? That's all just trying to make them feel better. So this argument of why do they have anything? Why would we be mad? Why would white people be mad at us? I wonder why. Have you checked out the channel? That's pretty much what we discuss on this channel. It's reasons why we are mad. Reasons why white men in particular are a little bit angry. We're kind of sick of seeing our grandmothers get beat up for no reason on the streets because they're white. We're kind of sick of having to feel like we walk around our cities in terror. I'm supposed to go to New York soon, and I'm a little bit nervous. I shouldn't feel that way. I shouldn't have to feel nervous going to one of our great American cities because I feel like, well, there are black people on the loose, and these are city blacks who are a lot different than country blacks, and I might be putting myself in a little bit of danger here. So, yeah, I wonder why we're angry. I really wonder why we're angry. Okay, to get back into more of the interview, this is Crowder now arguing about reparations. This should be a good one, obviously. Blacks love their idea of their reparations. Why they deserve it, I don't actually know. Less than 1% of people actually owned slaves, and they weren't white, actually. Can you guess who brought you here? It wasn't white people, by the way. And that's actually, it doesn't matter. It's actually irrelevant. That never happened to you or your grandparents, okay? So why do you think that we white people owe you anything? Why should we have to pay you reparations? Why? You were never a slave, and I never owned a slave. So why should I have to pay you? I already pay you enough in welfare, in Section 8 housing, and all these free handouts. So my taxpayer money actually has been providing, which black people are a major recipient of that, followed, well, probably, I don't know. Actually, that's going to be a close race. Who gets more handouts, illegals or blacks? That's tough right there. Regardless, you get plenty of handouts. You get plenty of government help on our dime, by the way. Money doesn't grow on trees, although it is kind of printed in the Federal Reserve as if that just doesn't matter. Meanwhile, it's backed by nothing. But that's a tale for another time. Here is Crowder debating them about reparations. Take a listen.
Meet the Parks. They make bank with EQ Bank. With EQ Bank, they can open up to 8 different accounts, so they can save the way they want for what they want. Way to grow, Parks. Make bank.
At Dietrich Law, we know you are much more than just ID and passwords. And if you are hurt through someone else's negligence, you will need to speak to an insurance company. And they may not respond like you expect.
Yeah.
They may be nice, but they seem to know only one word.
No!
So if you are hurt or disabled from working, call or visit dietrichlaw.ca. We are here with you every step of the way.
Bad decisions, personal accountability, we'd all be against reparations, and we'd all be against the criminal justice reform.
I'm definitely for reparations.
See, that to me, you said excuse.
Yeah.
That sounds like an excuse to me.
You ain't paid me back. You ain't paid me for what you owe me. It's
what did I take from you?
You can't start another bill
what did I take
until
from
you pay this old bill.
What did I take from you?
You didn't take but your ancestors.
But you just said you.
When I say you, I meant it as a euphemism.
But can you understand why white people hear it and get pissed off?
Yeah,
because I can take shit.
But they not mad about the advantages that were built into their lives.
So you want young people to pay? Sounds like an excuse.
Nobody wants to address. And
Sounds like an excuse.
even without paying us back, Steve, know what my thoughts are on this here. Give us an opportunity to exercise our ability and our autonomy. Let me give you a perfect example.
Bad decisions, personal accountability. We'd all be against
So I heard a lot of shouting, saw a lot of low impulse control there, heard a lot of raised voices, but I didn't hear a lot of good sound arguments. I just heard that you, Crowder, you owe me. You owe me. Oh, really? Since when? Actually, blacks, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think you owe us reparations. Have you seen what you've been doing to our country? Have you seen the crime stats, which aren't racist, by the way, which are being skewed because now they're throwing Mexicans in there and labeling them as white. They're basically throwing everybody but blacks and labeling them as white on the crime stats. So it's actually worse than you even thought. You thought those crime stats seemed racist? Brace yourself for if they were actually true and actually more accurate than they even are. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Believe me, they are not wanting to spin this narrative, despite the fact that it is the truth. It is the truth. So no, black people, we don't owe you anything. In fact, you owe us. In fact, I should just run a campaign now where white people want reparations from blacks. When is that going to happen? Where's our reparations? How many more people, how many Irina Zarutskas have to die on a train before we get some reparations? Is she going to get reparations? Is her family going to get reparations from the family of the killer, who was, by the way, released 14 times for other offenses? Where's our reparations? Where's ours? Okay, well, I got another video I want to show you of this black guy harassing an Asian girl in Asia. Asians are not really taking it. They're not pleased with the melanin influx in their countries. Before we get to that, let me jump to a quick ad break, and then we will get right back into the Asian story. So I don't look like a hippie. I don't dress like a hippie. I don't shop at Urban Outfitters to LARP as a hippie. But I very much do believe in natural cures for your ailments. Cancer, look at what's going on in Asia and see, again, maybe Asians now deserve reparations as well. Because you look up into any of these stories, was an old Asian lady going into her apartment in New York and some black thug like whacks her over the head. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And I guess black people are just still in awe at why we're angry with them. Maybe this sort of behavior has something to do with that. Maybe this is a bit of a contributing factor. So Asian girl, you know how they're polite and they're nice. She's smiling, but she's obviously uncomfortable. And he's like, no, come here. What, are you racist or something? I didn't do nothing. She's trying to get away. He's like literally assaulting her right here. And now chasing her down. She's literally having to run away. Oh, I see another person of color. I'm not sure if this is in Asia or if this is in the United States, but that's very unfortunate that a certain minority gets to plow over our rights and then demand. The cherry on top is the fact that they then demand that we pay them. That's truly the cherry on top. And by the way, this is mild. This is like vanilla, the most vanilla example of why maybe white people deserve reparations from blacks. So anyway, let's flip the script on them. We're no longer debating whether you need reparations. That train has sailed, or that ship has sailed. Duh. That ship has sailed, okay? And a new ship is coming into port, and it is white reparations. We want reparations from all of you, okay? And there will be no justice until we, white people, get reparations for all the trouble that you put us all through. Anyway, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like and leave a comment, and I will see you in the next episode.
Rule number 1 playing this game. Never miss out.
Hello, everyone. Hello to the Green Man. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. They said diversity would make America stronger. They lied.
What's up, folks? We are back again. As you could see in that lovely video, I really love when people do this. I do this often whenever I highlight black bad behavior on my Twitter account, I always set it to classical music. It's a good compare and contrast. You know, you got the classical music, which is the essence of whiteness, and then you have, well, black people behaving badly in generally any scenario or circumstance that they are set in. In today's show, we're going to be focusing on how they behave in society, particularly when it comes to retail stores and fast food joints, which is, I don't know what it is about these places, what is in the air that seems to trigger these people. Maybe it's just the fact that they're around other civilized people and it's like a clash of the titans. You have the uncivilized vagabonds, and then you have white people. And maybe when maybe the two shall never meet, right? Maybe when the two come together, it's always like magnets on the wrong ends and it just won't work and there's always conflict. I don't know. We could sit here and hypothesize forever. All we know is that this seems to be a reoccurring pattern, like the woman you saw in the first video that I showed you. She was just tearing up a fast food restaurant. I believe it was a Taco Bell, for no apparent reason. And it's generally over the most benign issues. It's never anything of importance. It's always something like ridiculous that you would be like, really, that's what set this whole thing off? Really? That's what you're going to jail for? Okay. If you are like me and you ever splurge on body cam footage, you'll always see that it's always over absolute nothings. A nothing burger. Okay, here's another video. This is a guy that I guess the guy doesn't want to give him the products until he pays for it. Probably because he's used to this sort of demographic coming into his stores and stealing shit, and the guy clearly is making a fool of himself. And I would say this store clerk is just using some common sense here, but of course, if you catch a little bit of this video, you will notice the guy says, "Is this racism?" What? First of all, I think the store clerk is brown, so that card doesn't really work. Your race card has expired, sir. Your race card is not accepted at this joint, okay? Anyway, take a listen. This is funny.
Right here. All right, give me your money. Give me your money. Is that how you do it? Give me your money. Give me the beer. Look, okay, pay. Give me the fuck. Pay. Pay. Pay for what? Pay for the beer. What code is beer? Put the beer on the code, bro. Bro, pay for what? Let me take the beer first. Is this racism or what? I don't want to see that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. No. Yeah, right. Not only I kill you, I kill you too at the same time. Whoa, bro.
What the fuck?
Right here. All right.
I love how he just, like, after the explosion of baby powder, I love how he just hightails it. This is like those videos, and I kind of enjoy this. See, this is what's happening. Now that we've imported basically everyone from every sort of culture, background, ethnicity, race, religion, whatever, now that we basically have, well, as the Jays like to put it, the melting pot here in America, and we have basically a little sampling, or a large sampling, I should say, of every culture in the world, regardless of whether they are compatible with the West or not. Now what we see is we see infighting between the minorities, okay? That's what's going on now. If you've noticed, there's a lot of Indian people who run like 7-Elevens and things like that, and they're having problems with the African Americans. It seems like everyone, regardless of when they got here, they all end up having a problem with the African Americans. But I'm sure that has nothing to do with the African Americans' behavior. I'm sure that's just because everyone's inherently racist against blacks. I don't think so, actually. I think it could be a you problem this time, actually. But now what we're seeing, like in Canada, the Sikhs are fighting the other kind of minorities. And in America, we have Mexicans fighting blacks, blacks fighting Mexicans, blacks fighting Asians, Asians trying to fight back. It's just like a war now between the people that we brought here. And it's like, again, we never asked for this. We don't deserve this. Why is this happening here? Why couldn't you just maybe fight your tribal wars in your own country? I don't know why you have to come to our land and destroy it in the process. It's like when you have two rowdy boys. Like, I don't know if you know this, but I have 4 brothers. And eventually fights break out between brothers, as one would know. And when they do, things get broken. Okay, so they're in the house, they start to tussle, and they're wrestling around, and they're having a grand old time. And then the vase breaks, and they kick a lamp, and they punch a hole through the wall, or the bunk beds get broken, or some chaos erupts, and something's always broken. Unfortunately, America and white countries around the world are that house. We are the house. And instead of it's actually worse. Using my brothers is a bad analogy because they are the family. It's like if you had two homeless people who just came in your house and started fighting in your house and they destroyed it. You didn't build this house. You don't pay for this house. But yet you're here destroying it, and we have to clean up the mess and then try to kick you out. And if we do try to kick you out, the law will come in and say, hey, you can't do that. They're allowed to live here. That's literally how it is being a white person in America, in Europe, in Western countries around the globe. We have invaders that are in here, and now they're fighting amongst each other. They're fighting for power. They're fighting for dominance. It's all a power game. They're all fighting for dominance and power. And what's happening in the crossfire is we're literally catching strays. Okay, we're catching strays. America's being burnt to the ground and destroyed with riots, with gang violence, with just a petty incident like that. That's our infrastructure being destroyed. You know, those are passerbyers who are walking by on the sidewalk. They could have gotten implicated. They could get in trouble. They could get hurt. They could catch a punch. Some kid could have been in the wrong time. Maybe that black guy grabs the kid. Who knows? And it's all happening on our soil in our lands. And we're having to pick up the pieces. And what's worse is we're having to pay for it all. These people come here, most of them, they come here illegally, so they don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to pay into the system like the rest of us do. They can shack up together and get paid under the table tax-free. And they're just able to accumulate wealth at our expense while we're paying for their benefits. So next time you go into the urgent care because you actually have an urgent necessity and you never go to the doctor, but this time you have blood gushing out of your wherever, and you need it patched up, well, get ready to sit in the waiting room for 3 hours because you're going to be sitting in line behind a whole line of people who are not here legally, who are not paying taxes, and use urgent care and our medical aid as just healthcare for them. I think they just enjoy it, actually. I think it's just an outing for them because they never appear to be sick. They never appear to have any gaping wounds. They just appear to be there like it's a day off, like it's a fun event, you know? So that's what the American taxpayer is subjected to under this new regime that we live under, where mass migration and illegal immigrants have more rights than you do. And they're destroying our house before our very eyes. And if you even say anything about it, you will be labeled as racist. You will be labeled as a xenophobe if you don't like outsiders. I'm not really sure. All these terms, they run together and they have no meaning because they are nothing. They are a construct that was built to make us feel bad and not say anything. To make you feel like you have to sit back and watch your country be invaded and not say anything about it. You just have to take it. You have to take it. We never asked for this. No one ever asked us this. No one ever put it to a vote. Hey, do you want your white country to no longer be white? Would you like to have roving bandits from all over the globe here fighting amongst themselves, destroying your countries on your dime? Would you like that? No one was asked that. We were never asked that. We just are expected to sit down, be docile, and pay for it all, and be happy about it. Be happy and welcome it. Don't just not be racist. You have to go over out of your way and accept it and be pro that and say, yes, I want my homeland destroyed. Yes, I want my heritage destroyed and ruined. Yes, I don't want a future for my children. Yes, I don't want white people to continue to exist. I want us to die out. I want us to be extinct. And still they won't be happy with you because deep down they hate you and they resent you because of what you're able to build and what they are able to destroy, because that's what these people do. Anyway, that's the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like and leave a comment, and I will see you in the next episode.
You can around and find out when I get off. Find out, okay. You shut up. Come and make me shut up. All y'all white mothers come and make me shut up. All y'all white mothers. Yeah, because y'all talking because he's a white mother. I'm talking about a dog. If I don't want a dog to touch me, I don't have to let him dog touch me. If I don't want the dog to touch me. And Matt, you want to record too? I can record you too, ma'am. You like recording? I can record you too.
You should record yourself yelling.
You like to record? I can record too. You want to record? Who the f is y'all? I pay my MTA thing. I don't want no dog on me. I don't have to have a dog on me. You want to record? Huh? Miss Vanilla, you want to record? Come. Yeah, I said it. What the f you want to do?
This is the reason why people are saying that black women are angry all the time, and even the ones that aren't angry get a bad rap because this type of interaction happens on a train. Now, you already know that if some people are recording you or it turns into an extended confrontation, that you are going to end up on the internet and it's probably going to go viral like it is now. And now you acting an ass. Now, let me extend her some grace, right? Because I don't want somebody's pet or dog on me also. I don't. I'm not interested in touching your dog. I don't want to pet your dog. I hate when people let their dog come up to other people. You don't know whether or not that person liked the dog or whatever. And so, you know what I'm saying? It's justified if you reasonably have a conversation with somebody and say, hey, you got to control your dog. I don't really want your dog on me. I just got my hair done or something like that. And I'm not really trying to be in this space at all. But when it turns into a situation where you start to yell and scream and go back and forth with people, and I'm assuming that this might be something that's a little bit more normal on a train or a New York subway or whatever like that, because you know what you're getting when you take public transportation. You know what you're getting when you jump on a subway in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Is it justified for somebody's pet to be touching you, which I'm assuming that's with that little black thing that's right there in the middle? Absolutely not. But life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. And when you start calling people white mother effers and what you gonna do, vanilla, and all of that stuff, you got to start asking yourself the question. If the shoe was on the other foot, meaning that it was a white person that was saying that to a black person, how quickly would people be trying to figure out who that person is, where they live, what job they do, and then be sending in the footage to their employer trying to get them fired immediately? You have to treat people how they treat you, or you have to, at the very least, treat people how you would want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? And so there's plenty of situations that you and I, everybody probably deal with on a daily basis where we feel like we wronged, or we feel like, you know, it's bad against us, or people are inconsiderate, or our upbringing, you know what I'm saying, is different, and we should, you know what I'm saying, have a justification for calling it out. But again, you have to make sure that you do it in a way that people will receive you. You can say anything, almost anything, to anybody if you say it the right way. And what we're experiencing here is a tale of two worlds. First of all, people feel as though they can say anything to anybody because they're black and they can get away with it. And so it's been overcorrected for a long time. And as a result, you should be able to do what you want to do. That's number one. The second thing is people are now getting aggravated at the fact that you're calling out black people for their behavior. And as you can see in this video, you see the woman that's right there with the hand over her head. People are sick of it. They don't feel like they need to be able to deal with this anymore. They don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, they can justifiably listen to the foolishness. And it's aggravating for people. It's aggravating to sit there and listen to you be racist, or, you know what I'm saying, turn into a full-blown hateful person because you don't agree with the fact that something has happened. And justifiably, it's a lot of people that will make the case justifiably, hey man, don't let your dog touch me and all of that other type of stuff. But why you got to start calling everybody white mother effers? Why you got to start talking about vanilla?
Brown's boy's a little dense, Austin Murphy. Give him patience. Be patient with him. He seems a little bit slow. He likes to repeat things so he doesn't forget them, I guess. You know, it's not like anyone's asking him these things, but, you know, have some compassion for Brown's boy. He's not as with it as you and I are. When Arpol told me Jack Talcott was a lolcow, I should have taken his word for it. Arpol is just LARPing here too. I don't know that. I don't agree. I proved Brown's wrong, so we just... Here, you know what? There are all-stars in the chat. Let me go ahead and drop the link, and I will pin that to the top of the chat for those who are present and wish to try and join. Not everyone who tries will succeed, but those who do not try will not join. Simple as that. If you want to join the conversations today, feel free. Click the link. We'll see where the day goes. The intention for me today is to share some fellowship and praise, encouragement, positivity, a little bit of inspiration and faith. That's the idea. And the idea of fellowship, what does that mean? It means we sit as fellows. It's not necessarily restricted by gender, of course. It is people sharing peopleship, fellowship with one another, without agendas or superiority, no classes, right? No hierarchy. Just the intention to share peace and order with one another. And if you want to share peace and order with another, it's not going to be through outmaneuvering, you know. Right? That's what I truly hope to be and to show as a follower of the way. And we've got a Jack Talcott fan.
Hello, Jack. I'm a big fan of your show. This is a fan of Jack Talcott. This is a screenshot when you were talking with Don Lemon from the Capitol. It's actually a famous moment of Jack's story.
Yes,
so I thought I would honor that today when
thank you.
At the Capitol building. Hello, how are you doing today, brother? How's your day so far?
Dude, it's been an interesting, my life has been interesting. And the past week, past several days has been kind of interesting for me as well. I've taken a couple days off from streaming. I have not accomplished what I hoped to do yet. But
how were your days off? Did you relax, or what were those days like without streaming?
Lots of isolation, prayer, meditation. I think what day is this? Sunday? I think I got out and got some things done too. But it was just focused on me and the immediacy of me and trying to detach from all of my efforts, you know, trying to let go of everything I want to do. Because my hope, honestly, my hope and faith got, I felt like I was kicked in the balls.
Oh man, that's not a good feeling.
No, I felt defeated and deflated. But then I accepted that. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh man, that's not
detached from all of my efforts, you know, trying to let go of everything I want to do. Because my hope, honestly, my hope and faith got, I felt like I was kicked in the balls.
Oh man, that's not a good feeling.
No, I felt defeated and deflated. But then I accepted that. It's okay.
American woman, stay away from me.
She's showing off her booty in those jeans. I think she was showing off. She was trying to get views, trying to get male attention.
You know how I discuss about money a lot on this channel. I mean, I've discussed it all. You know how it's just a bunch of digital numbers and pieces of paper, and we have to survive and all that. And you know, I just been having even more thoughts about this.
This Asian doesn't like working. That's his. Everything is about money. Most of his videos are about work and money. That's his main focus. Avoiding work.
But you know, I've been having this realization for a while. But you know, when you go to the grocery store or the supermarket, and you know, there's a bunch of food everywhere, obviously, because it's a supermarket. You know, and you walk in and you see all the organic stuff. You know, you see the fruits, the vegetables. Okay, those are like grown from the earth. You know, like this is coming from somewhere that, you know, this is growing somewhere. And then you walk into...
Isn't this guy brilliant? Those are grown from the earth, he says. And this is what people watch. They watch absolute garbage. Thousands of people just watch this shit.
To the next aisles, and you start to see like things with a packaging, things with a brand, things with a logo, things with a label, and it has all the nutrition facts elements and all the information, how many calories, how much sugar there is in there. And I just had this thought about how, you know, a lot of the stuff that we consume, that we buy, is just, it's coming from corporations, it's coming from companies. You know, they're just manufactured, you know, in a factory. Like it's just not, it's not real. You know, and I just had this realization of how, you know, when you see that logo, that company, that brand on that packaging, you know, like it's not just food. You know, because behind that is a worker slaving their life away, you know, in a factory, producing this thing for you, processing this, you know, and it's manufactured, and it's like, it's processed food. It's like, it's, you know, you get where I'm trying to go with this? And it's like going, like when you really think about it deeply, it's, I don't.
He's thinking so deeply. This guy's so deep. He's realizing that things in boxes are made in factories. And that it's he's thinking so deeply. That's the thing about young people. They believe themselves to be such deep, profound thinkers. And they're kind of like this guy. They're just absolute fucking morons.
Like, the more I think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, it's, I don't, like, it's like going, and it's like going, like, when you really think about it deeply, it's, I don't, like, the more I think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, there's a worker, not only there's a worker, but there is, like, all these board meetings. There's a CEO, there's a boss, there's a higher up in this company, and they're all like discussing at a table, like what's the next product that we're gonna do to sell. You know, and I don't know what to say. Like once you have this awareness, you start to think about these things, and it's crazy. You know, and I just can't help but think it's. You know, like they have these meetings, okay, and they have these meetings of like, oh, what are we gonna do? You know, and it doesn't feel like food to me anymore. Like I see this box of like whatever, like I don't know, chips, chocolate bars, a muffin. I don't know. It could be anything. A piece of bread, a loaf of bread. You know, but it's not just a loaf of bread. There's a logo. There's a company. There's all the nutrition facts, all the information on what's in this piece of bread, this loaf of bread. And this loaf of bread is like, it's processed. You know, it's not just like something that you make homemade in your house and then you just eat it. No, it's like, you know, and I'm not saying like, oh, we should all, oh, why don't we just grow out all of our own food? No, the point of this video is to just bring awareness, to just make people realize that there is something at play here. There is something going on deep down. It's not just a loaf of bread. It's not just a piece of muffin. It's not just a chocolate bar. It's something. There is something deep in this. You know, there's also the business side aspect. You know, and all these CEOs, these higher ups, these managers running this company of bread, company of yogurt. You know, they're all like discussing how much money they're gonna make. They're also discussing the sales. How much money they made in a month, how did it beat last year's record, and stuff like that. And it's like, it feels all so artificial. You know, it doesn't feel real. It feels all manufactured. It's like, it's not about, you know, these things don't happen because they want us to eat food. They happen because they want to make money. They want to make the digital numbers go up. Like, we live in a world where everything is a company, everything is a business, everything is a corporation, everything needs to be produced, mass produced, so that they can sell, you know, because that's all they really care about. But you know, like on the nutrition facts you get on the back of a packaging, the back of a label, or whatever the fuck, you know, they have all this information, this calorie, number of calories, sugar, fiber, all that stuff. You know, you never know if the company or somebody in the higher up, the CEO decides, oh, let's put the number lower so that we can sell these more, so that people will think, oh, this is healthy, you know. And then when it's healthy, you know, they'll just convince people to, you know, we don't know what the hell's going on, like in these companies or these corporations. They can decide whatever the fuck they want just to sell, because that is literally their main goal. Their main goal is not to feed us. Their main goal is to mass produce, to make people consume like in large chunks, you know, like, because that's all they care about. They care about the digital numbers aspect. They care about the pieces of paper. You know, all they're seeing is dollar signs like in their eyes. Like, that's all they see. You know, and to some degree they'll make the product like so that it doesn't at least kill us, but in the process, like, these things are like this is all processed food. You know, and I think to myself, it's because it's not like organic, so it almost makes me feel like, are we eating like poison? Like, we're literally eating things that are not like natural. We're eating things that are just manufactured. We're like think about it. Think about everything that we consume. Everything that we eat is just manufactured. Nothing is natural, you know, except for like the fruits and vegetables. But other than that, like, God, like, picture ourselves living in a society where we're just like growing all of our own food, all of this and that, and we're just kind of sharing to each other, and just being in a community and stuff, and just kind of, yeah, something pure and something simple. But the fact that everything comes from a company, everything comes from a corporation, everything comes from a decision that from somebody in the higher up and making decisions like like, and then just like coming up with strategies and marketing. Let's make a commercial that's going to make it look like that's going to make people crave this burger, that's going to make people crave this chocolate, you know, and it's going to make people crave these chips, these really unhealthy things, you know, because it looks good in the marketing, it looks good in the commercial, it looks good on the banner sign in the street, at the bus stop or something. I don't know. It could be anything. Like, everything is done to drive sales. Everything is done to drive digital numbers. You know, it's just, why? Like, we were born on this earth, okay, and that's like a natural thing. I'm just saying that we were born here. And what else is natural? Nature, yeah, the trees, you know, bunnies, rabbits, I don't know, a dog, a stray cat, or, you know, and the grass, flowers, like, and, you know, food that grows from the earth, like, those are natural things, you know. But all this stuff that we have is just all made up. It's all unnatural. and you know what's even more unnatural? Digital fucking numbers. They are just numbers. No, seriously, they're just numbers. They're numbers on a screen. Somebody decided this is going to be 200 calories. Somebody decided you have to pay these bills. Somebody decided you have to pay these amount of taxes. Somebody just made that up. And don't you guys get it? Like I'm just tired of just realizing how everything, it really is just made up. Everything is just artificial. It's just not real. It's just all done to drive sales, to make the digital numbers go around the world, because that's how the world runs. Because everybody wants digital numbers, right? And the fact that people are, people are like chasing degrees, chasing, and literally this is the whole point of chasing a degree, is to get a high-paying job. Like, who invented a high-paying job? Like, why is high-paying job a thing? Why can't it just be a job where we all, like, everything is fair? So that there isn't, like,
Such a beautiful building. It's so ghetto looking at the same time. Why is it in Hungary they put all the trash cans right next to the main gate? So you get a nice, oh God, let me open this door. Where's the button? All right, here we are. Welcome back to Europe. A place that I don't spend too much time in. We're about to spend some time right now. And we are here in Budapest, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And this is the beginning of another journey. A journey I'm pretty excited about. Little did I know when I booked my Airbnb for here in Budapest, I actually booked it in the most infamous ghetto of the city. It's called Józsefváros. Now, I don't know what the most infamous ghetto in Budapest means by American standards, but I do see a lot of graffiti on the walls. I've seen some homeless people. We'll stay on our toes. Well, I don't see anybody openly dealing drugs, so maybe bad neighborhood by Hungarian terms just means like old commie blocks. This looks very different from the other parts of the city I've seen. Nem beszélsz magyarul?
Pár forint, hogy én enni valamit, mert éhes vagyok.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Sorry, I don't have small money. Yeah. But good luck.
YouTuber.
YouTuber. Watch. How's Budapest? Good?
Yes.
Good city?
Yes.
I like it. See you. So, I was gonna give that guy like some change or something, but the only bills I had were like 20 bucks. Can't give 20 bucks to a homeless dude, I'm sorry. What are you guys talking about?
My card was someone stole him, so I just...
Someone stole your card? No.
Card.
Oh, someone stole your card?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit.
You pay by card or cash?
By card.
Some gypsies out there just stole the cat.
Really? Is that common around here?
Yes, because when like 100 years ago, they are stabbing each other and steal from each other, and today is stabbing too, like each other stabbing, but
oh, sorry,
not too much stabbing.
That's good. There's no more stabbing going on. I'm from America. We have pretty dangerous neighborhoods over there.
Yeah, I know this.
But over there we have guns.
Yeah, I know this.
Can the police help you with your car? Can the police help you?
No.
They don't help with that?
No, the police is useless.
Oh, really?
Like,
you counting, please. You counting. And be careful.
The police is useless for this because they don't want to do this type of things.
Oh, okay.
Because this is not important for them.
Okay. That's too bad. Good luck.
Thank you.
And watch out.
Goodbye.
And I guess this is the ghetto. Feel bad for that guy. I think that guy was from Vietnam. If you look on Google Maps, it's called a Vietnam convenience store. Is that guy still there? Barat. You're welcome.
Pár forintot mennék enni.
I gave you that.
Köszönöm.
Okay. Szívesen. Listen, you said you wanted food. I'm not that generous with homeless people usually. Interesting neighborhood. Sad to know that there are robberies taking place here, seemingly on a daily basis. I believe this area has the highest Romani gypsy population in Hungary, and Hungary actually has, I think, the highest gypsy population in Europe, or the oldest population. So, there's that. Why don't we go see something nice? I'm not trying to make a hood video. There's some nice Budapest architecture. Like, look at this. This is clearly from the 1800s. I don't get this graffiti. Maybe a Hungarian can help me with this. That says Nem igen. No, yes. And then yes is checked off. I've learned about 20 words of Hungarian. Gotta make the most of them. And this is nice though. I mean, it's clearly still kind of hood-like, but they're planting stuff. It's not like Hungary has a ton of money. Maybe they get money from the EU or something. But Europe, European hoods, they just look nicer than American ones.
Come.
Okay.
What?
S-A sabbatical. Yes, sir. Right there. Yes.
Oh my God! 800 felirat közül. Picture, bro, please.
Sure, yeah, we'll take a picture. Let's go. How you say picture in Magyarul? Thank you. Okay, we take thank you. Here we go. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Igen.
Thank you.
Igen. Magyarország.
Yes.
I like.
Yeah. Gypsies.
There you go. See. I feel kind of bad pumping my fist saying, yeah, gypsies, right after learning there was a Vietnamese guy that got robbed by them, but it wasn't those kids that did it. It wasn't those kids. They seemed like nice little kids. And they're my subscribers. Alright, let's go somewhere else. Let's get out of the hood. Let's go see some of the beautiful buildings that Budapest is known for. Let's go see a castle. We could maybe take a tram. Budapest is known for these yellow trams that go riding around. Yeah, there we go. Now it works. Let's walk over there. Let's see what Budapest is made of. Besides gypsies and homeless people. Oh my God, look at that. Now that is a train station. What a train station. don't know who these dudes are up on these statues, but this has to be the most epic looking facade for a train station I've ever seen. I mean, I don't even have a train to catch. This is just a very epic looking train station. There you go. And we're still kind of in the ghetto. But you know, I can't lie to you, this looks better than like the train station in Belgium. Belgium. Brussels. I was early on that one. The first YouTuber to call Brussels a shithole. Now it's become a trend. I should get some royalties or something for that. Alright, this behind me is apparently the Vadja Hunyad Castle. It looks very old. It was apparently built in 1896 and it was originally built of sticks and cardboard. But the people liked the shape of it, the design of it so much that they came back and built it out of stone. This is apparently the Museum of Hungarian Agriculture. It's the kind of museum you would expect to find in a post-Soviet state. And now Hungary was not part of the Soviet Union, but it was part of the Warsaw Pact. But it was the most rebellious member of the Warsaw Pact, the alliance that the Soviet Union set up in Eastern Europe. The people rose up in 1956, and tragically, thousands died. The Soviet Union soldiers came in, crushed the uprising. But as a result of that, during the Cold War, Hungary actually ended up being the freest state in Eastern Europe. Hungarians, now listen, I'm no expert on this country, but from what I can gather from its history, Hungarians have always been the country that wants to do its own thing. They're the kid that wants to take the ball and go play by themselves, make up their own rules, you know? Am I tripping, or is that George Washington? Yeah, no shit, they have a statue of George Washington right here in the park in Budapest. To the memory of Washington, the Hungarians of America, 1906. George Washington. I'm American. Don't care. But thank you, Hungary. Thank you for your support. I mean, I kind of forgot. Is George Washington still like a controversial figure now? Are we allowed to have statues of him up? I honestly can't remember. This is what happens when you don't live in America, with all the crazy political issues. Excuse me, are you Hungarian?
Yeah, but I know, yeah.
Okay, I just had a question. What is the best part about living in Hungary?
Oh, I think after. I moved 3.5 years ago from Australia, so I can't really...
It sounds like it.
Yeah, I can't really... She lives here.
I don't know, actually. I don't think I have an answer for this.
Okay, so there is no best part. What's the worst part?
Probably government,
the
politics.
Government. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty... That sucks.
Okay.
I would say food. Food is a very big part, in my opinion.
The food is a good part or a bad part?
It's a good part, very positive thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you recommend? I heard langoshes, is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great one.
Rántott.
Rántott.
Yeah.
What is that?
Like a Wiener Schnitzel. You
Wiener
know that?
Schnitzel. Okay,
Yeah,
like Germany.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much just Schnitzel, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the suggestions.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm sorry for bothering you.
No, no problem, man.
You have a nice day.
Man.
Yeah,
See
you
you.
too.
There we go. So, I feel like, is that how all Hungarians feel about their country? It's not the best place, but you know, there's some good food. And here we are at one of the most important squares in Hungary, which I absolutely have no idea what it's for. But let me Wikipedia that real quick. Looks like they're setting up for some kind of concert over here. One cool thing I've realized about Budapest is they like to do these festivals, like whether it's like a wine festival, an exhibition, and they'll do them like right at the historical landmark. So you'll just be like in some centuries-old castle getting blasted on wine from France or something. Budapest is a cool city. Excuse me, do you speak English?
Yes.
What is this for?
It's against for the political campaigns.
Yeah, because they are very political and very
harmful.
Yeah, what is that over there? So it's an anti-government protest.
Yeah.
I got you. Thank you. Good luck. It's a robot asking for donations. Seems to be like TV stations here covering this, so this seems to be a big thing. I've only been walking around Budapest for a couple of hours, and I've already seen a robbery and an anti-government protest. The things you could do in an afternoon. Oh yeah, and this monument is a monument to the Magyars. And they gave Hungary its name in the Hungarian language, Magyar Ország. And also the language is not called Hungarian in their language, it's called Magyarul. All thanks to the Magyars. The Hungarians, sounds kind of bad, but they're kind of famous for being invaded by lots of different tribal groups. The Huns, the Turks, the Mongols. They all rode through here on horses. I don't know a ton about Hungarian politics. I know that the leader is Viktor Orban, who is a very controversial guy. That's one way to put it. The people that like him really love him. The people that don't like him really hate him. And I don't want to get kicked out of Hungary. So let's leave it at that. All right, this definitely is not my fight. I'm getting kind of hungry. Let's go down and take the Budapest Metro. I heard line 1 is the most fun to take. So this is apparently the oldest line in Hungary, and it's only one car. And it's apparently very confusing for a European tourist. Little metro. Okay. That was tight. A tight Hungarian trainer.
We have to go.
Oh no, yeah, have a good one. See you later. Alright. So I was told by somebody that if I was going to try food in Hungary, the best thing I could try is called a langos. It's like a bread thing. Of course, it involves sour cream because it's Eastern Europe, Middle Europe, Central Europe, whatever they call it. Alright, that was pretty big. I was told that Hungarian food is very filling. I think that fits the bill. Kind of tastes like a bagel, to be honest with you. Pretty good though. Or maybe I'm just very hungry. This was, I think it was about $7. Like Budapest is, it's cheaper than New York. It's probably cheaper than Paris and London also, but I think I missed the golden age of cheap Eastern European prices. Get drunk. Everyone, there's a lot going on in this city. Here's some more magnificent Budapest architecture. Some of the best in the world right here. And then what's this up here? I'll put that tram past real quick. This is what I want to see. That over there is the mighty Danube. That is, of course, the mighty Danube River, the river that flows through the heart of Europe, probably the most important river on the entire continent. It's the river that linked Hungary to Austria, what helped form the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's also what helped build the city of Budapest. Things seem kind of different. But what happened to my beard? Oh, that's right. I just changed my server on the VPN. We're in Mexico now. Andale pues. I think we could all benefit from using a VPN. So I want to highly recommend to you Proton VPN. They helped make this video and trip possible. Now admit it, we all like to Netflix and chill once in a while. But if you're in a different country, what's up? If you're in a different country, you can't watch the same shows. That's stressful. But don't worry, Proton VPN can help you out with that. They have more than 10,000 servers in more than 100 countries to choose from, 110 in fact. For example, this way we'll take it to the US server. So, you can easily gain access to HBO, Hulu, ESPN, whatever you want. And you can watch shows, movies, and sporting events all in 4K. Proton VPN also helps keep your online activity private, so that websites can't track you and send you annoying ads. And if you're in certain countries that like to block websites, well, Proton VPN can help you with that. Because with a VPN, no website is blocked. You can always switch servers. I think I've given you more than enough reasons to sign up for Proton VPN. So just go to protonvpn.com/sabbaticaltommy and start enjoying full freedom on the internet. It was during the Austro-Hungarian Empire when Budapest became a showcase city, and most of these like amazing buildings that Hungary is famous for, that's when they were built. There was a lot of manufacturing money. Budapest became one of the fastest growing cities in the entire world. It was like the Chicago of Europe. All the classical architecture, neoclassical, I don't know what the actual architectural term is. These were built in the late 1800s with the money. But you can see kind of like pock marks, like signs of decay on the buildings. There's a reason for that. Hungary, unfortunately, was on the wrong side in World War II. They fought with Nazi Germany on the side of the Axis powers. And because of that, the Soviets invaded towards the end of the war. There was a massive battle in the city. Over 70% of the buildings in the city were destroyed. At the end of the war, in an effort to win over the people, and also, let's be real, get a dictator that the Soviet Union preferred into power in Hungary, the Soviets helped rebuild Budapest. They helped rebuild all these nice old buildings. And I'm glad they did. Budapest gets to continue living on today as almost like a living museum. Originally, Budapest was two different cities, very cutely named Buda and Pest. So over on that side, which is the more mountainous side of the city, that's called Buda. And then over on this side, where you have more of the kind of like classic, gothic, nice looking buildings, nice architecture, that's Pest. Not the best name for your side of town, but there you go. And Budapest is kind of just the center of everything in Hungary. But there is a whole other country out there. There is a Hungary that I feel like most tourists ignore when they come here. What's out there? Well, guess what we're gonna do today? We're gonna go find out. All right, I have returned to the crazy nice looking train station we saw yesterday. And this time I actually have a ticket. We have a destination. We're going somewhere. So, you know, I wasn't completely sure where to go. I'm not an expert on Hungary. But, you know, I was looking at my analytics, and apparently, very shockingly, my demographics are still 85% men. What can I do? Ladies, come on, step it up. There we go. And so, it just so happens, there's a place in Hungary called the Valley of Beautiful Women. How about that? There's no Valley of Beautiful Men. Given the demographic situation, I think that's gonna be our destination. There we go. Yeah. The station is surprisingly not English friendly. There's like no announcements in English. That's fine. That's fine. We gotta learn some Hungarian. Widely considered to be the hardest language in Europe. It's a very modern looking train. Pretty sure the first thing the Hungarians did after independence was tear up all the old Soviet infrastructure. All right, welcome to another place in Hungary. We are now in the town of Eger. All right, I just dropped off my bags at an Airbnb I booked 30 minutes ago. Now it's time to go and explore. It's time to look for the beautiful women. This place seems a lot more quiet. Man, it's actually hot as shit out here. This is literally the end of September and it's like 87 degrees out. It's like 31 degrees in European. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's so hot. It's so hot that, oh my God, look at that. I'm getting a tan. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, I'm just playing with you. It's a spray tan. It's a long story. Somebody offered it to me for free. I accepted it. I'm having a midlife crisis and I'm only 38. Give me a break. So where is this valley? I mean, I could ask somebody, but that's kind of it's a bit of an awkward question to ask. Where is the Valley of Beautiful Women? How do I ask this? Holvan Asepnuk Volje. Holvan Asepnuk Volje. Holvan Asepnuk Volje. Don't think he knows. The search continues. Yeah, what's your name? Holvan Asepnuk Volje. There?
Balra.
Balra.
Teljesen a végéig el kell menni. De.
Okay.
Erre is van út, de te erre menj.
Okay. Vannak?
Van jobbra is út, de balra kell menni a Szépasszonyvölgybe.
Okay, okay. Köszönöm. We seem to be getting closer.
400 meters.
Oh, good English. Angolul, yol.
Annyit.
400 meters. Okay. We're getting very close to the Valley of Beautiful Women. All right, looks like we have found it. This appears to be the valley. There's even a statue of a beautiful woman they have placed right there to let you know you're not in the Valley of Ugly Women anymore. You're in the Valley of Beautiful Women. Now, where are they? I have a question. Do you speak English?
A little.
A little bit? Do you know why this place is called the Valley of Beautiful Women?
Oh. Blonde. With beautiful woman here.
You see? The Valley of Beautiful Women.
You this?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Szépasszonyvölgy. Okay.
Exactly.
Szépasszonyvölgy.
Szépasszonyvölgy.
Beautiful woman Valley.
Wallet?
Valley? A völgy, várjál.
They want your wallet?
Beautiful woman Valley. This.
The valley, yes.
Valley.
But why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Mounts, this valley.
Oh, because
this
it's...
one mount.
So like beautiful mountains.
Yeah.
Why this name?
Miért ez a név?
Okay, it's a mystery. It's a secret. Okay, so there's Bor. Very good.
Very quality.
Very quality. Okay. Is there a beautiful woman?
It's all. This beautiful man. My boss.
I see.
I see.
Okay, I'll try one glass.
Okay. Dry or sweet? Semi-sweet?
I don't know. Maybe dry.
Okay.
I don't know anything about wine.
One Chardonnay, try. Okay. First,
Okay.
try. Okay.
Yeah, I tried.
Okay.
Thank you. Cost enough.
You are welcome. This Chardonnay, white dry wine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Don't look fancy.
No?
It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's yo.
Fino. Fine. No?
Very fine.
Az biztos lehet benne.
As fine as a beautiful woman.
Az biztos. One try királylányka, Hungarian traditional white dry wine. Dry?
Sure, I'll try that.
Okay.
This is not the day I was expecting to have right here.
Okay.
Okay.
This királylányka.
Királylányka. Okay.
Little princess.
Little princess. I see.
Nagyon tetszik neki ez a beautiful.
That's enough. This is a sample. He's giving me like a full glass right here. Very nice. Very nice. Should I do this? This?
This királylányka.
Yeah, do I do it? I buy a bottle.
One bottle?
Yeah.
Okay.
How much this one? Menu?
Ez a királylányka. Come on. 1 liter. Királylányka. 1 liter.
1 liter.
This 1,100 forint. Card or cash?
I can pay card?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's a hell of a deal. Is that like $4?
Where are you from?
America.
Oh, yes. Englishman in New York.
Yeah. Well, there used to be.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kasanam, where can I find some good food?
Good, no, very good.
Right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Fino. Great, thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Didn't find any beautiful women, but I found wine in a plastic bottle. Kenya.
You can try it.
Okay.
With the bread.
Spicy?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, paprika.
Erős pista. First you.
I have egy kis magyarul.
Igen?
Yeah. Nem.
You live in here?
A little while.
Good luck.
Thank you, beautiful woman. Damn, that's a bit more. That's a bit spicier than I was expecting. So apparently, the Valley of Beautiful Women in Hungary is the Valley of Wine. It's like the wine-producing region. Didn't know Hungary had a wine-producing region. That's kind of cool. The Napa Valley. Like a true American, I bought my wine in a plastic bottle. Plastic bottle that has a top that does this thing. Oh, Europe. It's turning into a fun Monday right here. Monday fun day.
Az kicsit más. Érted? Nem?
Nem értem, but
Jó.
thank you.
Okay.
Köszönöm.
Jó étvágyat.
I will try it.
Where are you from?
America.
America. Where?
New York.
Oh.
What's your name?
Jeanette.
Jeanette?
Yeah?
Okay.
Jeanette.
I'm Tommy.
What?
Tom.
Tom? Tom.
Tom.
Tamás.
Tomasz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Enjoy.
I will. All right. This is my first time having Hungarian goulash. I think it's my first time having goulash, period. That's what it looks like. Very good. Also a little bit spicy. Wasn't expecting Hungarian food to be a little bit spicy. That was pretty good. Not bad at all. Not bad Hungarian food. All right. Let's take another walk through the valley here. I see we have the older generation of beautiful women showing up here in the valley. I suppose it won't surprise you to know I spend most days waking up and having no idea what I'm going to do next. Great example of that. Great example. Hungarian Wineyard. Hungarian Wineyard in the Valley of the Beautiful Woman. It has recently come to my attention that a lot of Americans think it's funny that I keep filming like farm equipment because I'm from New York and I've never seen it before. It's exotic to me, I don't know what to tell you. If you look at a terrain map of Hungary, you'll notice one thing stands out. The land is very, very flat. Not a lot of elevation, not a lot of mountains. But that's because Hungary is right in the middle of what's called the Carpathian Basin. It's in between the Carpathian Mountains. And these mountains historically have helped shield Hungary and Romania and other places from invaders further east. But the problem is, once they get past that mountain range, there's nothing stopping the invaders. And that's why so many different groups have passed through here. The Huns, the Turks, the Scythians, the Mongols, the Austrians, and of course the Soviets later on. And one other group that arguably spread all over Europe, but especially into Hungary, also passed through here. And that is the Roma people, the Gypsies. And that is why Hungarians stand out so much amongst all the many nations of Europe. They have such an interesting and complicated history, so many people mixing in, and I don't know if I could even scratch the surface of it, but I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to honor the Magyars. Cheers. All right, good morning from, what town is this again? Oh, Eger, the Valley of the Beautiful Women, and beautiful wine. Here's my little Airbnb that I got. This is what you get for 60 bucks. Not that cheap by Eastern European standards, but I mean, hey, you get this bed, you get a second bed if you have like a child or something. And you get a full kitchen and a bathroom. That's the bathroom. That's the sunscreen. Jó reggelt. Now, I think I've told you before, I love castles. America has a lot of things. Soaring healthcare costs, obese people, freedom, but we don't have castles. We don't have castles. And so I'm just always happy to come here to Europe and explore these medieval monstrosities. And this is a really cool one. This is an epic castle right here. You know why? This is where the Hungarians had a victory. They defeated the Ottoman Empire. It was here during the siege of Eger. The Hungarians held off the assault of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans sent something like 20,000 soldiers against only 2,000 defenders, and the Hungarians won. It was an amazing victory, and the Hungarians still commemorate it to this day. Of course, then the Turks came back like 30 years later and they kicked Hungary's ass and took over the castle, but let's forget that detail. Also at that point, the Ottoman Turks had already conquered Budapest and basically had control of most of Hungary. The Ottoman Empire, man, one of the great empires of history. And Hungary was basically like its maximum extent. Like it didn't go farther than here in Europe. They never managed to capture Vienna. It's wild, you know? Because like Turkey, it's not that far away, but it is kind of far. And this is very much Europe. So, it really shows you how far they got. We might actually go to Turkey on this trip, so it'll be interesting to see the progression. By the way, did you know that they had guns like this way back in like the 1500s? Did you know that they actually had guns already in the 1300s in Europe? Kind of crazy, right? We just imagine, you know, Europeans charging on horseback, firing arrows and stuff. And I guess they still were doing that for a while, but we had guns a lot earlier than you thought. There's a lot of very Christian imagery along the castle walls. When the Ottomans were invading Europe, that was a big, big deal. Like a very powerful Muslim empire invading Christian Europe.
És az úgynevezett szúró láng egy aprócska gyújjukon. 16. században lövész katonáink ehhez hasonlatos.
The Turks, the Ottomans, they actually did have somewhat of a big cultural impact on Hungary. The biggest lasting legacy of the Ottoman Turks were the Turkish baths, which I've been enjoying during my stay here in Hungary. I actually really like it. You know, you just go in there, they got a sauna, they got a pool, they got this like big pool that you just sit in with a bunch of other dudes, sometimes other women. It's mixed gender. But what if I told you there's another empire that makes the Ottomans look silly, and they had already conquered this castle 200 years earlier? Who's that, you might ask? Why, it's our old friends, the Mongols. The Mongols, shockingly, made it all the way over here to Hungary. There's a famous battlefield in the far east of Hungary that's very significant. I want to go show you it. Let's do it. All right, so this time we're going to take a bus. No train. No train going to the lands attacked by the Mongols. Hungary has a lot of homeless people wandering around. What's up with that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
One ticket?
One ticket, yes.
1,124.
Okay. Thank you for speaking English.
Yes.
Alright. About $4 bus ride across Hungary. Alright. Welcome to what's probably the middle of nowhere in Hungary. Okay, but this appears to be a nice little Hungarian town, but where's the Mongolian Battle Memorial? Bocsánat, hol van Csatámlökmó? Mongol.
Gyalog mész?
Yeah, walking. Gyalog.
Itt végig mész a járdán, és jobbra mész egyenesen itt végig a járdán, és legvégén balra,
Okay.
kifele egyenesen az úton.
Okay.
Körforgó lesz majd ott.
Köszönöm, hagyjam.
Szívesen.
Understood absolutely nothing what she just said, but I understood that it's in this direction, this way. So I think we got to walk ahead. Hungarian, man. It's a really difficult language. Did you know that amongst like the language nerds that are trying to learn like 20 languages, learning Hungarian, that's like a sense of pride. That's an achievement. You can flex on people by learning Hungarian. Sadly, unless you're like marrying a Hungarian girl or something, I don't see a lot of other use to learn the language, especially because a lot of people here speak English. But it probably does help with talking to the old people. Why is their language so difficult? It's because it didn't even come from Europe. Like the Mongols, the Magyars, the people that gave Hungary its name and its language, they came from Asia, deep in Asia. They probably came from Siberia. I mean, look at this shit. Look at this. Completely unrelated to any other language in Europe. You only learn this if you want pain. You only learn this if you want to show off. Damn, so you're just walking along this road right here, this very unassuming road, and then you just turn your head and whoa, whoa. Look at this thing. I mean, I didn't see an entrance gate. Wow. So what took place here was during the Mongols' initial invasion, during the times of Genghis Khan. The Mongols had spread all the way over here to Europe. And of course, they were planning to take over the whole thing. Damn. In the 1200s, as the Mongols roared out of their native land of Mongolia, they conquered northern China, they conquered Central Asia, they fought the Persians, they fought everybody. They defeated the Russians, the Kievan Rus, and they roared into Central Europe. Two of Genghis Khan's most trusted generals were sent to fight Poland and Hungary respectively, and the one that came here was Subadai, basically the second in command. One bad dude. The Hungarians put up a fight, but like everybody in the world at that time, they weren't ready for the Mongols. Nobody was ready for the Mongols. But when the Mongols won, they were brutal. It's estimated that maybe a quarter of Hungary's entire population died as a result of the Mongol invasion. And this is where the decisive battle took place, where the Hungarians were defeated. The Mongols at that point, they could have easily taken over all of Europe. They could have conquered France, could have conquered the Holy Roman Empire. Who knows? But in one of the strangest twists of history, at that point, the Mongols turned around and went back to Asia. It's rumored that the great Khan died at that time, and Subadai and the other Mongol underlings, they had to return to honor him. How can you have a monument like this and then have a war like the one that's going on just over the border in Ukraine? How? Like, why? How can anyone still want to fight a war? Well, this has been Hungary. This has been Hungary. Hungary, a very unique nation of honestly quiet and introverted people, but generally nice people if you get to know them. A country that throughout history has been invaded by random groups of Asians, taking over and then mixing into the population. So as I said, this is the beginning of a journey. It's my next big journey. It's not quite as structured and planned as the one I did last year, trying to go from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. On this trip, I'm just gonna follow my heart. I'm gonna go where I think is meaningful and what interests me, because you only live once. This trip will take me from Europe down to the Middle East and hopefully back to my beloved continent of Africa. We will pass through several conflict zones and who knows what else. I can't tell you what the itinerary is just yet, but we have a lot to do. All right. All I can do now is just wait for one of the buses that comes by here every 2 hours or so. Let's get comfortable.